Recently, numerous challenges to wildlife have emerged in all of our parks due to climate change. Because of changes that result in less food, less successful reproduction, and interference with the environment for native wildlife, the survival rate of many species are decreasing as global temperature rises.
In today's episode, we will discuss the relationship between fauna and the carbon cycle. We invited students from Mapúa to discuss their thoughts about the topic.
What are your thoughts on the concept and relationship between fauna and the carbon cycle?
Regarding that question, if I am asked what my thoughts are on the idea of fauna, I will describe it as a distinct group of animals encountered in a particular region, habitat, and geological period. As for the carbon cycle, I can define it as a biochemical process wherein carbon atoms consistently travel from the biosphere, pedosphere, geosphere, hydrosphere, and atmosphere of the Earth. Hence, I suppose the carbon cycle works by moving from one reservoir to another through distinct mechanisms. By linking these concepts, the fauna and carbon cycle have an intake and output relationship, which means that global carbon cycling can be characterized by uptake and exchange between ecosystems.
As a human, what do you think is your effect on the carbon cycle happening on Earth?
As a human being, I assume that the carbon cycle is tremendously affected by the various activities that humans have performed, from burning fossil fuels, agricultural uses, changing land use, deforestation, and etc. The amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere is rapidly rising and is more significant than any time in the last 3.6 million years. For ocean bodies, the increased carbon dioxide affects the ocean's power of hydrogen level to decrease, which can now be called ocean acidification. As this happens, several bodies of water will become acidic and the ability of marine organisms can be negatively interfered with.
Since you are not new to how the carbon cycle works, can you explain how it affects fauna or the animal kingdom?
Life on Earth depends on the carbon cycle. Fauna depend on the carbon cycle for carbon-based compounds. Animals eat photosynthesis produce food from plants. Plants and animals breathe out carbon dioxide. This cycle exchanges carbon between the atmosphere, biosphere, lithosphere, and hydrosphere. The carbon cycle affects fauna's food supply, which can modify species populations.
The carbon cycle is a process that indicates how carbon atoms constantly move through living organisms, oceans, and the atmosphere. And the direction that carbon atoms move through is very complicated and it takes a long time for it to make a complete cycle. Thus, if I were to define the effect of carbon cycle on animals and other organisms, the impacts of the carbon cycle that I can give are respiration, decay, population, and survival. The animals can convert organic compounds into carbon dioxide and water, which the carbon dioxide can be released in the atmosphere and help regulate the Earth's climate. The deceased animal can be broken down by decomposers. Through this process, the nutrients such as carbon, nitrogen, and phosphorus can be brought back into the soil, which plants and other organisms can use. The carbon cycle significantly affects the population and survival of various animal forms.
In terms of carbon-related human activities, do you think that humans are destructive to the animal population?
I think that humans are really destructive to the animal population. We cannot deny the fact that there is a global warming that is causing climate change because of humans, and it affects the circle of life of the animals. Particularly, the carbon cycle affects the animal populations through the impacts of climate change. As many of us know, human activities like burning fossil fuels contribute to it, causing ocean acidification and greenhouse effect that raises global average temperatures. For instance, a study found that as global temperature increase, many species of animals shift their range to higher latitudes and elevations in search of cooler temperatures. These can lead to resource competition and habitat loss, negatively impacting animal populations.
How do you think animals respond to climate change?
I think that animals would respond to climate change by adaptation since it will help them survive in their natural surroundings. In this case, numerous challenges to wildlife have emerged in all parts of the world due to climate change. Because of the changes that result in less food, less successful reproduction, and interference with the environment for native wildlife, the survival rates of many species are decreasing as global temperatures rise. The equilibrium between species and their ecology could become unstable due to rising temperatures. In order for them to survive, they adapt to their environment that they are living. They find food and water, defend themselves from harm by covering their body, as well as changing their behavior.
If you could talk to the animals, what would you want to say to them?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry for being insensitive to my actions towards you and to the environment. I know you are mad at us right now. I help myself for realizing that we have hurt you. I realize that I became self-centered and have not considered your happiness. I don't care about what I'm doing as long as I know I'm happy. I'm sorry for the wrongdoings I did that disappoint you. Please give us a chance to fix this. I fully commit to learn and become more understanding. I understand even if I say sorry. It will not change anything. However, I'll keep my promises that I will change because I want to become a better person for you.
Let us urge each person in the world to be responsible towards the environment.
We must make central connection between humanity and nature.
Each of us can be a solution. Our micro efforts can have a macro effects.
Animals don't have a voice, but they rely on us for so much.
We are a voice for the voiceless.
Let us speak for those who can't.
We have to stand up and take responsibility and save the fauna before they're all gone.
We don't have to accept the doom and gloom for the Earth. Together, we can slow down the dual crisis of climate and biodiversity loss.